dulu cik umur dalam 21, 22, itulah dah lama sangat kan. Tahun 78 cik pindah sini. Oh ini pasal pulau tu dia nak ambil. Dia nak bikin tempat army kan. Jadi masalah kena pindah sini. Pulau tu kita satu hari sampai 2 kali turun. Dekat pulau kan, pagi turun. Nanti kalau time macam gini air dalam, main tak ke laut lah. Air dalam gini duduk relax. Yang ada nak main bola. Nanti air surut petang ke laut lagi, sambung lagi. Dulu. Oh itu mula sedih jugalah pasal kita dah lagi kecil kat sana kan. Kita semua dah tahu asal lagi kecil kat sana kerja laut apa semua. Dan kawan-kawan banyak. Habis kat sini kena pindah. Pindah yang ada berpecah lah. Lagi dulu kerja, kau kerja gudang banyak. Tapi gaji tak berapa bagus lah dulu. Jadi kita cik dah terpaksa ambil inilah. Hari minggu ke laut lah nambahkan. Dah kerja gudang gaji berapa aja. Jadi kalau kita ke laut, hari minggu menjaring, dapat juga duit pasar kata orang. Nambah-nambah.
I'm considered a second-gen Ubin Orang Pulau because my mom, she grew up on Pulau Ubin from 1959 all the way to the 1990s before she moved to the mainland. It was really only until I was serving my NS that I started to feel this sense of existential crisis, and so I wanted to feel something more. I wanted to find my true calling maybe. So when I first wanted to venture out to find out more about my Ubin heritage, the first thing I needed to do was to find the remnants of my grandparents' house, because that was the promise that I made when I was still in primary 1 to my mom. The first thing that my mom told me was, you better find Pak Ahmad because he'll be the one who knows exactly where the spot is. During my first few attempts to try to find the house, I did finally meet up with Pak Ahmad, and I still remember the encounter when I showed Pak Ahmad the picture of the house. That was when Pak Ahmad actually took out his motorbike and he said, "Wan, jom." He actually brought me down to the same spot that my mom brought me in 2003-2004. He just said, "You can start your journey from here." In a way, I want to say there's some divine intervention, because when I was trying to find the house, there was this particular spot inside the forest that was just so brightly lit. That's when I tried to cross-refer to my photos, and then I realized that was exactly where her house used to be. When I first told her that I found the spot, she was in disbelief. And it's only a few weeks later when I brought her over that she teared up because she knew that this was the spot. I would say somehow it's like fulfilling a promise as a filial son. But at the same time, I feel a certain sense of connection, a reconnection rather, towards something that has been disconnected from me for so long.
my life during youngest day, right? How I live, although very poor, but think back is I have a very, very happy childhood day. Our daily life, okay, after school, we'll just throw the bag aside. Then either we go to the sea, to the beach, especially when it's high tide, we're very happy. We jump into the sea and we just swim. Now today is a very special day because the member of the society do the prayer this morning, and then we have reunion dinner together. The celebration actually is started from the island itself. The Dato that we pray actually is a Muslim, okay? And you believe that he belong to Tekong, look after Tekong Island peoples. Especially the Teochew group, because most of the Teochew are fishermen. So they go to the sea. And Tekong Sea, during this season, monsoon season, is very rough. Before the reclaimed land take place, very rough. So they believe that the Dato is protecting them.
Satu bubur kadang kalau kita nak bikin dekat satu bubur siap kan. Kurang dekat 4 jam lebih. 4 jam lebih bubur siap satu. Cik memang ada jual ikan kat sini lah. Setiap hari Sabtu, Minggu lah. 2 hari. Jadi ada jugalah diorang beli-beli. Apa jugalah kita ekstra buat ini kan. Kalau ikan banyak kita jual lah, ikan sikit kita datang untuk makan kita, lain kita jual lah. Sekarang mana tempat banyak dah tak boleh masuk. Sekarang orang tak banyak ada bubur. Sekarang orang pun dah banyak. Sekarang banyak orang dah jaring-jaring. Itu tempat kadang iyalah pasal pun dah banyak bot, dulu tak banyak bot. Nelayan cuma berapa aja. Sekarang diorang dah pandai juga belajar-belajar. Nah ini kan
Back then, you'll be able to see all these kampung houses almost throughout Pulau Ubin. But starting from the 1990s, most of these residents were told to resettle. And because of that, all these kampung houses started to disappear and trees started to grow in its place. That is why today, most people will always think of Pulau Ubin as a forested area instead of the kampungs and communities that it once was before. When my mom first came back to Ubin after a very long time, I remembered her saying things like, "Wan, mak dah tak bincang lagi tempat ni. Tempat ni dah terlalu banyak hutan. Babi hutan banyak, monyet banyak, mak dah rasa takut nak balik."
Ever since we moved into mainland, this reunion dinner will happen only once a year. Okay? Now, this dinner actually allowed us or given us a chance to recall our life in Pulau Tekong. And this kind of memory, I believe, can never forget. For me, I can't forget the island. Therefore, during my SCF day, whenever there's a time to go back Pulau Tekong for training, I feel very happy. because I go back to hometown, motherland. In fact, after I retire from uniform group, Minda offered me a civilian job, officers. I chose to go to Tekong. I was telling myself, when I retire, I should retire and go back to Pulau Tekong. Let it be a fisherman, never mind. But too bad, no chance. After I went back for 2 years, I realized that I must let it go because the island no more people already. Right? All shifted out to Singapore. Even that, it took me a few years later, then I don't have the kind of feeling that I wanted to go back. Always come to Changi Beach and look at my island, dreaming.
Yalah, kalau yang ada tu, yang besar tu dia ada juga belajar lah. Belajar tapi bikin ini. Belajar boleh juga lah, tapi sekarang susah juga. Susah macam mana? Masalah dia masalah bot. Bot nak ambil lesen susah sekarang. Sekarang tak macam dulu. Macam ini bot. Sekarang lesen lah mau cik. Macam cik dah tak ada lesen. Dia macam sini, macam MPA dia tak nak kasih lesen lagi. Jadi siapa-siapa yang ada bot, kalau dia dah meninggal, habis lah. Bot tu kena scrap ataupun kena jual. Lesen dia tak bagi lagi. Dia buat pekerjaan memang kerja dia memang nampak kasar, tapi okey jugalah. Sudah biasa.
As Singapore modernizes and urbanizes, we get to see a lot of this history, a lot of this culture just disappear. As a descendant of the Ubin Orang Pulau, I still have to consider and count my blessings because at least for the people of Ubin, they're still able to come back to their island. As compared to all the other islands like Tekong and Sudong, where it's already out of bounds to them. So all these stories will all just disappear in time. What's next? Honestly, I really don't know because the future still looks very uncertain for us. And there are times where I start to doubt whether or not whatever I'm doing makes a difference. But there are times also when residents will just straight up walk up to me and say thank you. And sometimes I wonder, thank me for what? All I did was just share photos or write about stories about the people here. But for them, it means a lot to them. It makes them feel seen. It makes them feel heard. As long as the community is still firm in their beliefs that this is their island home, there's much that can be done. The Orang Pulau legacy shouldn't die with our elders. It should live on with us and the next few generations.
Ada seking, ada semakau, ada bukum, kami anak pulau. Ada berani, ada belakang mati, senang separuh sudung, anak pulau masih berdayung. surau, murai, payau, mengelayau, berderau, harapan berkilau. Oh wow, awok diko au ah, awok diko au ah, awok diko au ah.